You don't know are the Real Things podcast. Hey yo!
Hey guys, welcome to the Real Things podcast. How you doing? How you doing? It's a Monday. It's a beautiful day. Hey, it's the first or second day rather of the week. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a beautiful Monday on the outside. I don't know what time it is in your neck of the woods. I don't know what time it is that you're going to come across this live or this, video. People, blessings and welcome to the Real Things. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. And if you're new here, I want to welcome you. Firstly, please, 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 if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do just that. What are you waiting for? And for my returning subscribers, for my returning parties, for my returning supporters, welcome back. You don't know how the thing go. You don't know how the thing go. It's a Monday. Big up on the set. You don't know, so we have to build up the vibes before we before we kick start. Yes, 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 yes. For those of you who are roping in, big up on yourself. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Be sure to leave a like as you enter. Today we are taking it to the streets. We are taking it to the streets of Nyabohanse once again. You know how we do our African village life stories today, may I tell you. It's a day that I didn't even want to do this, I'm telling you, but I'm left with no choice than to address up the thing. So be sure to subscribe if you have not done just that. And welcome once again to today's episode. It's not your average podcast. So please be mindful. Don't come here looking for the regular style podcast. It's not. All right. All right, my people. So without no further ado, I want to welcome you once again. And I'm telling you guys, if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You understand? Please be mindful that you are in the right spot. You're in the right spot. So don't hesitate. Like up the thing, subscribe to the thing, and let's do the do. Me always want the good of people them right next to me because that's how we grow. Yes, that is how we grow. And when people, I don't know if you've seen what's happening on the streets of YT over the weekend, like I think it was Saturday. Huh. I'm left with no choice than to come here and address the thing because it's been trending and say you have to jump on by the train. But people, it's with regrets in my heart, that I really have to come here and address this situation that is, really out there, boiling the blood of many, including myself. Now, you may be wondering what I'm talking about. I'm speaking on the situation with our senior citizen over there in not Nyabohanse, the neighboring village, where we see the senior citizen YouTuber, the oldest YouTuber on the streets of village life doing his thing. But right now, I think that he's gone a little bit over the boundaries. That's just personally, that's my personal beliefs, though. So don't hold me for that. Who I'm talking about? Kohera Sr. I've seen the man come out to the streets and go on with one bag of things. I know that you've seen content from other content creators or other reactors here and there, but I'm here just to add my piece to the table because may I tell you the honest truth, it really rubbed me differently. So, guys, this gentleman came to the streets of YouTube. For those of you who are actually new here, this gentleman came to the streets of YouTube. Actually, he was brought to the streets of YouTube by one of the villagers in Nyabohanse, right? himself is also a reactor. And this was all a setup to clap back at the travel commando to show the world that the travel commando is not doing well because his old man is out there suffering. That was the plan, guys. It was a plan. But now we've seen where the plan somehow backfired because what they thought, like this is my opinion. What they thought, like, would have blown up in the commando's face actually leave, everybody standing aside and watching this senior citizen YouTuber struggling and has basically no resort to attacking because the plan literally backfired. The master plan backfired. So now he's turned to attacking. And I'm saying again, this is basically my opinion, my assessment on the whole situation. Because we've seen where Masuba One brought Kohera Snr to the stage, introduced him to YouTube, and there were some other enablers, which every time when he comes to his content, he will give them recognition. He will call them by name. He even was giving them praises for building him a pit latrine and encouraging them, to continue doing what they're doing because they're doing a good job. And I was appalled, like at this age, after serving the government. I mean, I'm not calling him down or anything, but at this age, somebody from overseas would have had to come and build you a pit latrine. And you've been out there in the world all this time. I understand that, in those, like in your country, it would have been different because life is hard. But, bro, no dread. No, no. So now we've seen where, Kohera Snr have been, out here attacking. He's on the attack. And personally, I want to say some things. I want to, you know, set something straight based on my view of his his claims and his attacks. It's sad that one would have had to come to this. I want to let me just sit up straight. Yeah, it is sad that one would have had to come to, attacking. You know, I'm saying attacking because literally that's what it is. In like past content, you would have heard him referring to his ex as darling, what. But no, no, and before I go there, I honestly thought that he probably somehow in his deranged mind thought that somebody would have given him, like somebody from the family or something, would have given him some kind of recognition. But as the time passes, we've heard a statement was made the other day, and by the travel commando himself at the end of a video that he did, and he was very teared up and emotional about him being unwanted from the time he was brought into this world. And I'm begin to feel like somehow this senior citizen of a YouTuber went berserk based on hearing that comment. This is no rejection 101 for him because now he realized my assessment. This is just my opinion. He now begin to realize like shit, this is not gonna work for me, bro. So I'm not gonna be darling nobody. I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing no more. You know? I'm gonna sugarcoat you no more. Damn you. I'm coming for you, whether you like it or not, because then you're not seeming to want to give me my time of day. So what? Ain't gonna work with me. I'm not gonna be here playing the fool and sugarcoating anything. I'm gonna come for you. Now, can you imagine? Can you begin to imagine if somebody should come out here and say that, oh, I'm your dad. I'm your dad. and I've this, and I know your age, and I've been with your mom, blah 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 blah, and give the history of everything that no things that people didn't know, intimate details that people never knew. Okay, so you left the world convinced enough, or to some extent, that yes, you're the dad. But the way that you entered the stage was through the back door, the side door rather. You came through the stage and you were dragged on the stage through the side door, meaning that he was brought to the streets of YouTube by the wrong set of people, the people them who wants nothing but revenge. You know? So for me personally looking at this, I saw where there was no way the plan was going to work because number one, you can't want peace and I would say you're basically dining with the devils. No. Mm-mm, mm-mm. You feast from the devil's table. They pay you. They take care of you. They give you the amenities that you need in your life. They are your enablers. How could you ever like for 1 second think that the plan was going to go through? No. You would have had to come in, did your own thing without chastising, without criticizing those people like in public, siding with the enemy. Guys, this is just how I personally see the whole thing. So coming out to openly criticize and drag, it's not gonna make your life any easier, Mr. Kohera. Guys, like I'm telling you.
Has always used on men so that she can survive. After using one, she dumps you, she looks for another one, she dumps him. Now she is on a third man.
No, this right there to me is the most disrespectful thing that a man could like literally, you know, mm, I don't know how to put it, guys. Like literally.
Has always
mm,
used on men so that she can survive. After using one, she dumps you, she looks for another one, she dumps him. Now she is on a third man.
All right. So my apologies for replaying that. I went to pause it, but I clicked the wrong button. No, guys, I'm literally lost for words. Like it's not like I was not expecting the worst of the worst from these type of actors when they come to the streets because this what you're looking at is literally desperation. It's desperation because what would make a senior citizen, a person of this caliber who people suppose, I mean, of this age rather, that the younger youths should be looking up to. That's why sometimes it's not everybody you should give certain tools because they wouldn't know how to use it. And not everybody trained to use certain tools. This right here, so yes, if there's truth to the story, which I'm not going to play the fool and say things here, like I don't know. So let me say it how I'm saying it. If there's any truth to this story, right? Yes, if there's any truth to the story, yes, it's okay that you would come and speak because it was part of your life, but not in this derogatory way. Not in this. This is basically a bitter old man. Basically, a bitter old man who is losing or has lost, realize that he's lost. So he's lashing out. What are you really like at this point trying to gain? What do you think that you would gain? Okay, all right. Back up. He's gained over maybe 4 or 5 thousand views on the video, and that is probably going to give him a. It depends, 20 something dollars, maybe 28, $30. It depends. It depends, right? All right. So now you're rich from the views, which you basically came for because what are we here for? It's for views. All right? It's for views to make money. So the more views, advertisers will watch your content. I mean, the advertisers will advertise on your content. The more views, let me set my thoughts straight. The more views on the content, the more ads will play because your viewers are views in. Yeah, it's Monday, these days, and I didn't have my coffee. So you understand what I'm saying? So we all here to make some money. Nobody come do YouTube for free. You get it? All right. So you're winning because the plan that you came with never worked. So you've changed course and you're on like basically you're in attack mode. How is this going to benefit you other than the few measly pennies which you will eat and shit out in a few days? I beg your pardon, guys. This is a grown ass podcast. You understand? This is for grown people, 18 and above. Those pennies that you will collect within by the 20 something, you will eat and pass it out. And what? When the stories are no longer storying, what's going to happen?
That is to say, uh, I am here today pitying, pitying my brother Moffat Ondari. I am pitying you. I am pitying you. I am feeling sorry for you that already you have been put in box, and the stage where you are now is actually sort of a point of no return.
All right. So, as I was saying, based on what I'm seeing here, his bitterness has now turned towards his darling based on how he used to behave prior to now. I mean, you're a bad actor. You're a terrible actor because you're not sticking to your script. Yeah? Based on what how he behaved prior to now, how he acted when he came to his camera, when he did prior content, he's not like he used to be. Oh, his darling, da 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 da. No, like the bitterness has now shifted. The bitterness, the sweetness has now shifted to bitterness, and it is channeled towards the same person that he was referring to as his darling. So it's giving right here that it's not about the kid. It is about the mother who he probably is deeming that the mother, basically poison the mind of the kid. We say it like that. We say it like that. So the mom would face his wrath based on his what he's feeling. And I believe all of this is coming from, like I said earlier in the video, that the comments that were made at the end of the live, it was a live or it was a premiered video, that the commander made, you know, saying that he was from the time he was born, that he was rejected. And I think this left a bitter feeling in this guy towards his ex. This is just how I am seeing it, guys. I don't know. Help me here if you think I'm wrong about it. But this is just how I'm seeing it.
You may live to regret. You may live to curse me. You may live to congratulate me. But I am now going to tell you the truth. This is Esther, who grew up here in Kuria at Kebaroti in Nyabasi, where I am born. And she is well known. Nobody does not, there is nobody who doesn't know my ex-wife, Esther. So they know her as a cunning lady, a very tricky lady, very mischievous, but also merciless.
Wow.
She is merciless. She is heartless in a way.
Wow. No. Imagine it took this guy all these years. Look at the age of those kids. It took this guy all these years after, these are some of the reasons why you should never believe, a lot of things that you see on the internet. Don't get emotionally attached. It was not so long ago. This person who is now being called bitter and merciless and heartless and tricky, it was not even 2 months ago. This person was his darling. So I'm saying, like, why did it take you all these years? You cannot be trusted, by the way. I shouldn't even ask you this. Because at this point, you cannot be trusted. The first thing I will tell you that I saw when he came out here, this was his gesture. This was his gesture. I don't know about your culture, but in my culture, this is when you're going for the kill. This is when you're going in for the kill. You cannot be trusted. You're not a genuine person. No, you're not. And I would want to turn it right back around. All those names that you are firing off and directing to the mother of your kid. I would just tell you, turn them right back at you. Point them right back at you. Because you came to the streets seeking help. Actually, you were dragged here to beg. I want to put it that way. Because if I can go back to the first set of videos, they brought you here. They brought you here on the streets of YouTube to prove to the world that you are not being taken care of. If we can remember anything, guys, you can remember the videos. He was complaining about the kids that he has in school. He does not have a pit latrine. Yeah, you have land. And this one could come for that land, and this one is the first, second, third, fourth, whatever barn, and who. It was a mission that has now failed. And because you were left hanging, nobody that you came out to the plan backfired. The plan backfired. The one that you came out to impress never looked your way and the plan backfired. That's just how I see it. Period. At this age, at this age, somebody has to make you a toilet. You're sitting on your behind, chastising, creating havoc. Okay, so now you're left to work for your money. You're left to work for your money because the mission failed. And the work that you're working now is to create havoc, to wreak havoc in other people's lives that are minding their own business and not even knowing that you still exist. I think like I'm looking at it and I'm thinking that this guy is gonna probably get even worse like as we look on, because if you've gotten this low this quick, there is no doubt that you will go lower. That's just my view, by the way, guys.
Let me elaborate. This is a lady of one against three men. I don't know whether you call it 3 in 1 or 1 in 3. So the 3 are the men who look also foolish, I inclusive. The first man who also became a fool was the biological father of Winnie. As
Even these things, I mean, it's your mouth and you're free to say what you want, but why are you doing these things?
I had explained, I thought it was a sort of an accident. Sometimes a girl can accidentally get pregnant or conceive from a person who doesn't love her, and then this girl gets dumped by that man for one reason or another because the man was not serious.
Listen to all those kind of nonsensical conversations. Look at this man. Look at your age, bro. You have kids in school. Jesus.
That Winnie as my cultural girl or daughter. So Mara started growing up. At the age of walking, when he was walking by himself, he was big anyway. He was big. At the age of walking,
At the
then
age of
this
walking.
lovely wife dumped me.
Now, how could she be lovely? How could she be lovely, tricky, having how many men? I think you need to get your act together and just scrape up your scoot yourself from the streets of YouTube and go learn some respect. That is just my take on it. I really don't want to go too hard on you because you're elder, but at this point you're not respecting yourself, so you're not allowing anybody else to respect you. I'm really trying to hold my peace in the whole of this, and even with respect to the family that that is affected. I'm really trying to hold my peace. But I'm telling you, any day if my father ever really put himself out a road, but him want to disrespect my mother in that way, I would forget. I personally would forget. I'm telling you.
This Moffat, who had left his family at Nyamaya, he had married a nurse. They had desired 2 sons. But now, this man clinged on Esther. They ran away from Nyabasi and settled down there at Nyabohanse. There, I do not know how many children they sired. Then that is when now the man was very lioning. He was a roaring man. That is when sometimes I say that is the time now he segregated my son, because Marwa was a big boy. Marwa was a big boy when he got out of my hands.
This part, guys, I don't understand what he's saying. I really don't understand what he's saying because he was a big man. He was a big man. He segregated your son. Um, I'm confused about that part. So again, you're saying things in your own tongue, in your own understanding, and I'm having a hard time because you know everybody have a mind of their own, and they're able at if you say like he was a big man, big enough to understand what's right from what's wrong, and to choose what's better for him. You understand? And this, I'll tell you guys, the display that I'm seeing on the screens right now, if anybody was to make a choice, it would have been like the universe must have made them make the right choice. And it's not to choose you. Huh? It's not to choose you because you're not displaying, like at this point, I'm telling you the honest truth. This guy is not really displaying, like, how can I put it, guys? He's not displaying the character of somebody, like, of a good father. A good father. He's behaving greedy, greedy. I'm telling you the honest truth. Like anything goes, anything goes. That is the vibes that I'm getting. Like, you know, I don't get it. I'm going to go low as possible to have it. That's just basically how I'm seeing things right now. So, if there was a choice to be made between East and West, and if one would have chosen East instead of West, most likely the universe was just working in that person's favor.
Then you can see what happened up to now, when Marwa now is big enough, is now a father, he can make his own decision. Although I heard the people, I get a lot of information, I don't know whether it is true, that even the villa is registered under Ondari's name, but not Marwa's. So that one, I don't know.
I think a lot of things, I think this guy has a lot of things on his mind and it is bothering him deeply. It is bothering him deeply. Imagine, imagine you looking to make amends at the situation. Okay, you've reached out as per you, and people didn't respond, rather. You reach out and no one responded to you. So instead of, holding your corner and trying to figure out or wait until the time is right, you allow people to be using you to go up against the very thing that you said is your blood, or the very person that you say is your bloodline, and also your farmer partner. This is why I'm saying that you're not giving a sensible person, and maybe the universe really worked in the favor of anyone who was trying to make a sensible decision. Maybe the universe knew that deep down you were not, you know, you're not for real. You was not for real. You're not genuine because your darling, your honey, now is a trickster, now is a user. I mean, when people angry, you'll find them saying a lot of things. But this is giving me like a narcissistic type of behavior because it has to be your way. If you think she's a nice person, well, in your mind, she's nice. And if you think she's a bitter person, well, in your mind, she's bitter. Yo, I need like, I'm seriously looking at you like you are desperate and bitter. I'm trying to remain calm as possible because, like I said, I want the respect. I want the respect too, because if you don't respect somebody, they won't in return, they're not gonna respect you. I'm trying to maintain myself because at this point, you've gone too low. And all of this is for money. You're behaving like a hungry person out here, like he's really, really dying in the desert for thirst and hunger. And you will go low, low. You're basically lowballing everybody that's in this family. You're lowballing everybody that's in this family. And whether there's any truth to what you're saying, it still is wrong for you to come in the public like this to chastise, to defame. Hi, no sir. And he's leaving no stones unturned.
Now, here, I started by saying I am pitying my brother Ondari. If those neighbors can tell you, Ondari used to beat Esther like a cow. He used to beat her properly. He used to beat that lady. Maybe that is when that lady tried to defend Maro from him.
That part of the story, I don't know. I wasn't there and I have nothing to say. I really don't. I really don't. At this point, you're just making wild accusations because you're talking about what neighbors said. You understand? You know how many neighbors fabricate stories? You're just basically, I mean, at this point, this man is worse than even the ones who brought him to the streets of YouTube. At this point. And the reason why I'm saying that he's even worse because if he's really like the blood and biological or whatever, if there's any affiliation, let me use you, if there's any affiliation or any blood relation whatsoever, you should be the one paving the way, not the one joining the masses to tear down, to defame. Because of what? Because nobody looked your way? Personally, I've never seen anybody came out and address you personally. I've never seen that. So why are you up in the ante? You're no worse than those people who was once even dragged off to jail. Huh? Shucks. Guys, he's even worse than the one, the Masubo who brought him to the streets, who brought this guy here to the streets. He's now surpassed Masubo. So it is now the fight for the hottest content.
Whereby now all the children are grown-ups. The children are grown-ups. All the young siblings are grown-ups. My first daughter, I don't know whether she was married or not. And the rest are at Nyabohanse. Now here, my concern is, I have always followed the kind of lifestyle my brother Ondari is going through. Ondari is one man who has been used to brutalize the youths, the whole village of Nyabohanse.
This point, honestly, you're acting on hearsays, you're acting on a lot of fabricated stories that these people bring to the streets of YouTube for views. You understand? So, like I say, you're even worse than them because you're an elder. You're supposed to set an example, not join them. You understand? And listen, this man, nobody is faultless. You guys have culture that you thrive by year in, year out, hundred of years. So I'm not gonna be one to come up here and dispute certain things. You understand? But when it relates to Andari and you, Andari's lifestyle versus what you're there doing, the man is a productive man. And you, on the other end, is sitting there trying to destroy basically what he's worked for all these times. The man sit down and implant. Sorry, the man plant. Day in, day out, he works. He's a workaholic. What are you doing? Sitting, making a mock of the whole situation. And I sincerely believe that soon and very soon, somebody might pay you a visit. I sincerely believe because, one could sit and listen to stories. But when the fact that you begin to call names on your platform, it simply means that your stories are personally geared towards these people. You understand? These are personal attacks because you're calling them by name. So you're attacking them. Guys, I personally believe that, you know, somehow somebody's going to sit with you very soon. You're going to have to humble yourself soon. So don't get too caught up by the money, the little money, peanuts that you're collecting on YouTube. Also, for the little bit that the enablers are handing off to you, because stupid. You call them by names once you're coming in. And this is how the rest of the gang in the village does. When the enablers are taking care of them, they come in because they can't help it. They big them up. You understand? I say enablers because they might not physically say, oh, go ahead and lash them. But the fact that when you do certain things, they reward you. To me, it encourages the reward or the rewards encourages you or enables you to continue to perform your duties. I would say your duties or perform your acts. Yeah, I just saw me see it. And I think it's high time that you take your shameless behind off the streets, go rewrite your scripts, and stop trying to bring shame to these family. It's going to backfire on you so badly. You are probably going to wish you've never even came to YouTube. Believe me. It may look like gold now, but remember, you're old enough to know that ain't all that glitter is gold. Yeah? Because it may take just one or two of your videos and simply a report to YouTube. And it will put a spoke in your hole. So, we say spoke in your hole, a spoke in your tire. So cool down with that nonsense. You started off at some point, you know, with an introduction and people say, oh, okay, okay. And then you gradually up the ante. I know that at this time content may not be contenting, but stop with the attacks, senior. It's not looking good, it not sound good, it doesn't suit your age. I know it's paining you. People have moved on, but you're there stuck in the caves. Personally, that's just how I see it. You're stuck. The guy is there complaining about people bathing in pools while others are left behind, being used, having to work. It's called productivity. It's called productivity. That man is a productive man. Whether he's a strong disciplinarian, some might see it as maybe abuse or whatever. I cannot refute their cultures, their I don't want to get in that. Not that I'm gonna sit by and see people doing harm to others and don't say anything, but I'm just saying, there are cultures, even in my country. I was watching a vlog yesterday where somebody said the mom tied the son in ant's nest. And that to me was like brutal. Brutal. So there, I'm just saying to say that it's not even in African culture alone. It followed us to the West Indies, where the head of the family would be very stern and strong. Never kill a lot of us. You understand? Some of us were made into a better human, or some just couldn't deal with it at all. They were scarred. But anyway, I'm not here to refute all of that. I'm just saying, as far as my analysis goes, that gentleman is a strong disciplinarian. He's a very hard working person, a very productive person, acquires land, farm the lands, and he works from sun up till sundown. Yes, yes, no nonsense. What are you here doing? What are you here doing? Working tirelessly to tear all of this apart, to open people's rumps who don't give a what about you or what you're over there doing before now. They don't care what you were doing. It's the past. It's the past and they have moved on. Why are you holding on for dear life? Are you jealous of the life that some of these people are living? Because you're not complaining about who is taking who to the pool, who is taking who on vacation. You don't think they deserve it? Or you think that you should be in that position? I'm really confused. I don't really want to even have to go into all of this. But the fact that you're taking it to the streets, I have to, you know, really try to figure out what's going on in your head. What's really going on in your head? Because this is really bad. It's looking bad in the public's eyes. And if you're here to make peace, you're not doing it the right way. And it shouldn't take, you know, this kind of action from you. It shouldn't take these types of desperate actions from you to look for solution. It's not going to give you solution. It's going to bring you some damn problems. Personally, that's just how I see it. Because if people are living their lives, I mean, you know, also you may be doing this because you know that in your culture, they may never come up against you. They may never come up against you. Just like how, in the past we've seen a lot of things happening and people just back down from taking action. It appears to me like it's just a cultural thing. So maybe because you're aware of this, you take it to them. But you must remember that in life, when you're digging holes or when you're doing these kind of things, anything in life generally, it's a cycle. It's a cycle. Guys, I don't really know, what more to say about this guy personally, like other than he needs to go do some soul searching and figure out what really did he came to the streets for? What really did he came here for? Because at this point, it's not that he came to make any peace. I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing that. This is not the way. This is not the way to make peace. This is not the way to find your way back to salvation. I don't think so. It's not working, bro. It's not working. And you're too old for this nonsense that you're portraying here on the street. Set an example for the youths, the ones who drag you to the streets and put you in this mess. Imagine you're not even in a position to tell them that nothing that they're doing is they wouldn't listen to you. They would laugh at you. I hear you trying to give them, what's this word I'm looking for? advice, what they should do and what they should not do in their behind say, da 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 da. I'm thinking, this man, does he believe for 1 second that these young people are going to listen to him when he's out here conducting himself in such a lawless and lewd manner? I don't think so, bro. I really don't think so. I really don't think so. Guys, I really have to end the podcast here. I trust that, you've really enjoyed, you know, some of my solutions, some of my analysis, or my analysis rather. I trust that you enjoy. And be sure to leave your comments in the comment section. At this point, I'm really lost for words. I'm telling you the honest truth because this is shocking. This is shocking. This actually reminds me of do you remember Meghan Markle's father? He was doing some stuff just like this. He would even sell off information to the tab at one point, allegedly. Mr. Kohera Snr, shame on you. Shame on you. Guys, be mindful, be mindful, be mindful to leave your comments in the comment section. And also, don't forget, if you watch this far, don't forget to leave a like before you exit this live. And I'll see you guys on the next one.
I've been getting lit too much. Yeah. I just need a drink till I see you in my mind, and I know I can't touch. I don't wanna hit you up. See your name up on my line. I know it's gonna be some time before I hit you up. Yeah. Don't know what I'm doing, but I need your touch. Yeah. Like you pursuing me, cause